So I was a little bit younger, and my dad had finally gotten me like my own muzzleloader, and so we'd already gotten through rifle season, youth, all that sort of stuff. I wasn't archery hunting yet, and so it gets to be December and it's time for late muzzleloader season, and so that's a week long in Kentucky. And so we go out, and like the opening day, we're sitting on the ground, and we're in this fence row, and like probably 15-20 yards to my left is where the fence turns. So there's like a little road there. And so we're hunting that morning, and there's frost on the ground, and we're nestled in, and we're sitting there, and I doze off, because that's what you do when you're a kid. You doze off a little bit every now and then. So I'm asleep in the fence row, and I feel my dad, he kind of nudges me. He's like, don't move, don't move. And immediately I'm like, what's going on? And so I didn't listen very well at that time. And so I look to my left, and right at the corner of the fence is this beautiful, probably 150-inch class deer. And he's literally 20 yards. And of course, my movement startled him, and I'm trying to get the muzzleloader up, and I'm trying to get on him. I get him stopped, and I just can't get on him, and it just doesn't come together. And he runs off. He's with a doe. And man, he was just a beautiful deer, so missed out on him. Fast forward, we decide, let's move our box blind to the same fence row. We're more hidden, we're more discreet. And so it's almost the end of muzzleloader season, and we're trying to put it all together. And we're hunting one morning, it's a few days later, we're in the box blind, and it is freezing cold. And it is so cold that even my dad tells me he's cold, which never happens. Anytime growing up, I'm like, man, I'm cold. Why didn't you dress warmer? I tried to tell you, you should have got your hot hands. Why'd you forget? I told you it's gonna be cold this morning. Well, finally he's cold. And so we're like, let's get down, go back to the shop. He had this little Coleman heater that he had, and he thought, let's go grab it, we'll come back, and then we can hunt till about midday, and we'll have a little heater in here with us. So we go get it, we come back, and this is the time that my dad decides to show me that if you shake a Coleman heater really hard, it'll shoot about a 2-foot flame out the front. And I just, like, that's the coolest thing I've ever even heard of. And what better time to play with fire than when you're in a structure built entirely of wood? I think that's a great time to do that. So we're doing that, we're goofing off, we're having fun. It's, we're just, making memories. And literally, as we're shooting fire out of this thing, a doe, probably 30-40 yards down the fence row, jumps the fence, takes off running out in front of us. A buck with double drop tines jumps the fence, runs right behind her. I get on him, we're trying to stop him. He doesn't care, he's way more interested in what she's got going on. And again, we miss out on another beautiful buck. And of course, double drop tines, it doesn't even matter what he scores at that point, you killed a double drop tine. So we miss out on him, season ends, we don't get it done, and we're at the shop, and it's time to unload the muzzleloader. And of course, what we do is we shoot it into a fence post. And so it comes time to unload it, and I shoot, nothing happens. I shoot again, nothing happened. We go through like 10 or 15 primers in this muzzleloader, and it's not firing. So we're like, man, are these wet? Or like, what's going on? Did they get wet in the backpack? And our neighbor, who was my dad's best friend, he's like an uncle to me, he comes down, he's like, did you idiots even load the gun? And we're like, we probably should check that. And we take the plug out of the muzzleloader, and we look in the barrel, and all you can see is daylight. We hunted the entire muzzleloader season, had both these encounters with these bucks. Wouldn't even mattered if I could have got on them or got them stopped, because we're hunting with a gun that's not even loaded. And so that's not necessarily my favorite hunts of all time, but when I think about memories and making memories with my dad, it's the times that we weren't successful, but it's a fun story, and we get to laugh about it now. And so that's definitely one of my favorite series of hunts in my life.